lovely day to you again from the studios of the Nigerian Television Authority, and the show is Conversations. It's one program that I sit in and I smile because one way or the other we get issues handled, we get to munch it, and at the end of the day masticate it real good and bring out solutions that will be good for everyone. My name is Elizabeth Abai, and I'm asking parents at home in a very capital letter, how are you? It's intentional because some parents are shouting, yeah, when is school going to open? Some are saying, oh my God, I am spending so much money. Whatever it is, I know that the children on holiday this period, it's a handful, but it's also a joyful period. And for those of us who are battling and seeming to run extra BP because the children are running around, at the end of today, we'll be providing solution as to how to engage them, how to cope with them, and how to ensure that everyone moves smoothly despite the friction of having them around in the house. My name again is Elizabeth, and I know Devan, you may need to introduce yourself.
My name is Devan Hamati, your mom, and it's great to be here.
All right.
My name is Dr. Mariam Yasin. It's great to be here.
Okay. And the man?
I am Peter Kundun.
Oh my God! Please, director, can you remove the microphone? This man does not need microphone. Peter Kundun.
Yes.
And you're a father.
A father and development communication consultant.
Okay, and the young lady with us?
My name is Nabila Waziri Durojai. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nabila Waziri
Durojai.
Okay, nice to have you.
You're
wearing your school uniform. Which school is this?
LM International School.
LM, what class are you in?
I'm in SS3 presently.
SS3 presently. Okay, when it opens, you're going to SS3.
Yes.
How do we like to jump? My little nephew in the house, I saw the WhatsApp group, and he already wrote SS1 students.
Oh,
and
well,
he just took junior YEC.
It's good to be forward thinking.
It's good. All right, forward thinking it is, and we'll be thinking forward as to provide solution. But before we do get into the conversation proper, let's take a look at what students are doing, and of course how parents are managing. Again, the winning team did this Vox Pop. Let's see it.
Like me now, they plan to at least maybe go there do one of two things. Like the boy,
Yes.
I like to go and they try to put in for furniture. Then the girls, like catering work, they try to know how I will couple to put them there, to freeze them there, so that at least I will get some more chance to rest.
I enrolled him into one of the barber shops, so he should be keeping himself busy. He has been disturbing me, waking up, seeing him sit at home doing nothing.
Yes.
I look for a shop close by, so he'll be going there to be doing something for the part-time.
It's not easy, honestly. Staying at home with these children throughout this long vacation is going to be more stressful, so I have to engage them in an extramural classes where they learn foreign languages.
Someone like me now, I'm happy, and on the other hand, I am not happy. I'm happy because I have time to bond with my kids, and on the other hand, I'm not happy because the stress is sometimes very tiring, very, very tiring, and I'm even thinking to drop her at a summer lesson or a crèche, I don't know, just engage her so at least I can have a little breathing space.
And this holiday period, I've been watching a lot of online videos, and that has been keeping me busy.
And during my holiday, I go for summer lesson. And when I'm done, when I come back from school, I engage myself in keyboard and helping my mother at home.
All right, it's nice to know that parents and every other person, as much as they complain, they are coping. But generally, let me start from Madam, because I know that not only just being a mother, you're also a school owner.
Yes, ma'am.
How has the experience been?
And a long-term teacher.
And a long-time teacher, yes. What's the experience like?
The experience has been so nice, and because children at a time they need rest so that they will be able to relax their brain, play a little, do some house chores, and then at the same time they could go for summer lessons. The summer lesson might not be subject that is being taught in the class. It could be all this STEM, that is sciences, or it could be entrepreneurship. Something to make them at least self-reliance in future, and to make them know that they don't have to be sleeping every day or watching films and all that. They will take them out of the home so that parents can be able to do some field work, and then by the time they come back, they may have their siesta, although after 2 hours they could go in and start revising on there are projects that we normally give them. They use those projects, they
holiday projects, you call
holiday
them.
projects. They concentrate on it to keep them abreast with whatever they have been taught in the school.
I'm kind of concerned. This is not taking us away from the topic, really. Why do we call it summer vacation or summer holiday, summer lesson, summer this, when we're at the peak of rainy season? I don't get it. Why is it summer? You have an idea?
Well, for me, this whole thing of trying to be like Oyibo people have 4 seasons: autumn, summer, winter, May. We have two: dry season and rainy season.
And we're inside rainy season. Meanwhile, the summer holiday.
This is the period
I don't capture it.
I think this is the period where in Oyibo country it is summer. So we have to now borrow summer. So I guess in December, instead of calling it Hamatan, we can go for winter as well.
Winter holiday.
See, I don't subscribe to these things, but we all know what the nomenclature stands for. So personally, it doesn't make much difference to me.
In certain school environments, whether they have sun more than rain, which is why they call it summer.
I think it rains in summer now. It rains in summer.
No, in our own, there is no sun.
We don't have summer. For me, the point is we don't have 4 seasons. We have 2, the dry and the wet season. So I don't know why we keep doing this summer thing. If you just simply say the holiday season, who will die? Why must it be summer?
We used to call it long vac.
Long vac.
And if we even want to put a title to it, we should call it the raining season or the farming holiday. Period. So it reminds us that this is the time to visit the farm. And
nowadays we celebrate Halloween. We celebrate which is meant for witches and wizards anyway.
Halloween.
Yes,
I was born on
we
Halloween.
Celebrate Halloween. We celebrate Thanksgiving, which has absolutely nothing to do with Christianity. So there's this. I'm sorry, really bad. I don't want to say stupid. Bad tendency to follow everything westernized that I don't agree with. I think we can borrow those things that are pertinent, that are useful, and leave them with the rest. We also have things that are stupid and bad that we should discard. So I don't believe in adopting Western culture wholesale. Just as I do not believe that everything about our traditions and customs are fine. So
let's not heap on that, because that's our focus for today. Because it will remind me of people that copy in exam hall. You copy the questions, you copy the answer, you also copy the person's matric number. That's what it comes to. All right. All right, Mr. Peter, I know that a lot of times they say training of children and caring for children, it's in the domain of the woman. But then when it's time to make the babies, the men play paramount role. How are you coping with the training?
I think it has a lot to do with your background to a large extent. In my own house, I sweep, I mop.
Oh, you do? I think you deserve a round of applause, really.
And I
hope your wife will be able to back this up.
Absolutely, she knows. I dress the bed every morning. I don't even wait
for her.
Because I come from a background where my mom would not tolerate that. She's a nurse, and she feels it's just absolute arrant nonsense for you to say, it has to be your wife or your sister. And I have a dad who, maybe because he's a bit westernized as well, he would never accept, the man sitting in front just because he's the boy in front of the car. It has to be the older person, and you have to respect everybody the way they are. If somebody is older, he's older. And, that perception really worries me, especially in a place like Abuja, where you're driving and then you see a woman driving recklessly and she has kids in the car, and you're like, Madam, slow down. Then she just goes like this in front of her kids. And I think it's the withering of culture and the perspectives just like you guys started talking about, you have instances where people are beginning to adopt, you know, lifestyles that are very, very foreign and unacceptable. So if you ask my wife, she knows, and she's watching, she knows I'm not lying.
Madam,
you know,
our
'cause-
phone lines are open. So if you think your husband is, making himself feel good in front of national television, please write to us. The lines are open. So, and we'll read the message and say, okay, your wife is reporting in.
Yeah.
But back to that now, you do all the chores. How do you bond with your children this holiday period?
Well, it's very difficult, I must say, because I'm also like a breadwinner. So
You're the breadwinner.
Yeah, exactly. But to a large extent, there's a lot to do at work. You know, being a consultant, you have different, responsibilities from different organizations. So you're trying hard to catch up and pay the bills. And of course, you have your kids at home that you need to tend to. So what I did this summer was to think about it. I've never been a supporter of, my kid must go for summer or extra lessons. I've never liked the idea of kids staying till 4 p.m. You know, I've always condemned it when my friends accept it. So first of all, I made sure that I try as much as possible to spend a little time that I have available. And how do I spend it? By just sitting with them. I bought a friend of mine bought a football for them. So we sort of like wait for our neighbors to drive out when they go to work, since I work from home most of the time. And then we just go out and they play. If I'm busy with a meeting, I don't have to join them. But they sort of like bonded between themselves, and I'm observing from the window because I have a coffee table by my window.
You still join them, but from your coffee table?
Yes, so I watch them. I try to observe what they say. I notice that every time I want to step out, even this morning, they'll be like, Daddy, where are you going? So I know they need more of me,
Yeah.
And so I try as much as possible to get some of the things they like, but then to make sure I am at home and fully at home when I'm at home. When I'm out, I'm out. But once I'm at home, I try to make sure I cook. Sometimes
this man is
I try
amazing.
To,
He
no,
does
I do that.
all the chores.
I was
he
teaching my
cooks.
daughter how to fry egg the other day. She's 6, and she was super excited. And she says
Thank you for
tomorrow
starting early.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another round of applause, I beg. Thank you.
Well, it doesn't make me a perfect father. But, I'm just doing my best as well.
Don't worry, your wife is listening, and I'm sure she'll soon write to us. Now, let's go and take it back to Devon. Devon has a house full of young women. They're not really, that small, but at a point they were small.
Yeah.
So, how were you able to cope with the holiday period and the house packed full with children?
Okay. Mine is a blended family. So this question is not pertinent to me. I'm not able to give any very good answer in that regard. However, to a certain extent, what I did try to do was during the holidays, for the really younger ones, we didn't do summer school, come and go to school. That is when you unwind. That is when you play. That is when you get stupid. That is when, I'm sorry,
You make all your mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have to bring this back to my own childhood. My parents let me play nonsense and pieces right up until the age of 10. And then back then, secondary school, 1:30, 2 o'clock, it's done and dusted. And I don't think that the children that are staying in school till 5 p.m. are more intelligent than I was at that point in my life. Because I was also exposed to very good programs on TV, very good books, So I'm a very strong advocate of please allow these children to unwind, especially during the vacation period. Allow them to play. You never get a second chance to be a child. You are a child only once. That is when parents should allow their children to build the sweetest memories.
Exactly.
Play is a form of education. Your children are learning how to interact with their fellow man, which is critical as a human being. You are not an island. So Nigerian parents, I'm sorry, so many of us tend to focus so much on academics. Forgetting that The fact that your child, let's go to the university system now. Your child is coming home with a first class. If it's not in any of the STEM, science, technology, blah, blah, blah. If it is in the humanities or social sciences or the arts, and your child comes home with a first class, me, I'm worried. So this child went to school and didn't have a social life. You know, you can do that very easily with mathematics. You can come home with a 5.0 CGPA, blah, blah, blah. But how did you manage to get a 4.8 in history?
Or English.
Or English. You didn't have a social life. You didn't have friends. You didn't party. You didn't let your hair down. You were just reading. Why? No, I don't know how many people in Nigeria are making it because they got first class. So. But come and check the number of people that got third class, but because they had the right network of friends and in places that person with first class cannot even knock on the door. You need a network of friends.
And you can only make them when you play.
It starts with play from childhood. So by the time you're in secondary school, you know that I still need to have friends. You're in university, I still need to have friends. So I'm this kind of person who I do not... Well, my kids are all in university now, and these universities that are quasi-secondary schools. You have to tell them where you are going, when you are coming back. Come and kneel down because you didn't pray. No, my children are not in those schools. I want them to explore. Yes, I want them to explore who they are.
Yeah.
Know who you are before you marry. Not that when you now come and marry, then it's inside marriage that you now realize that you didn't attend any night party when you were growing up, and this is the time you want to do it. No. These are the things that should have. Even the Bible says that when you are young, do what young people are doing.
Exactly.
Not to the point of being daft
Stupid.
And compromising yourself and living an immoral life. That's not what I'm saying. Because there are people that want to misinterpret what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that we should encourage these children to let their hair down. Relax. Enjoy life. It is... Even as an adult, you work and you play. So you need to teach these children from small work-life balance. By all means, give chores. Age-appropriate, capacity-appropriate chores. Allow play. Allow interaction. So that you have somebody who is well-rounded growing up. Not that you have this person who, is so introverted because of how they were raised that if two people are sitting in a space, they cannot communicate.
Exactly.
Because they are withdrawn. They can't, they feel as if the world is crumbling because three people have looked at them.
Generally, I think for parents, a lot of times we expect too much, which is why we find it difficult to cope with our children when they're around us. We feel the children are born already made, so to speak. A child is born, and even they said they learn how to they just give birth to them and they begin to suck breast. But the truth is, if you ever went to any hospital, they are teaching them how to grab and begin to suck. So that means, and the child will keep going like this with the mouth until he finally finds the nipples. So that's to tell you that every person makes mistakes and focuses until the person learns it. And the mother is there guiding. Sometimes the traditional birth attendant or nurses are also helping the primates, that's the first moms, to help them get these things done until they get it right. What am I saying? When children are growing up, they are around their parents. The parents should not be in a hurry to dump them in school. They go to school 3 months, they close, they have a weekend off. Then before I know it, they start, I don't know if it's summer or winter or Hamatan or rainy season lesson. Then they pack them off again 8 o'clock and they come back by 4. When do you have time to sit down and see your child making mistakes? Another thing we don't seem to understand is that holiday period is created to help us bond and create emotional attachment to our children. And the children also create the same emotional attachment to us. Eventually they leave secondary school, they get to university, they start forming a clique. Before you know it, the first holiday, 1 week, mommy, it's just 1 week, let me stay in school. The next holiday, before you know it, your child is gone. By the time that child gets married, they only remember to call you when it's your birthday or Christmas or Salah or whatever period, celebrative period. At most, because you paid school fees and they are conscious enough, maybe once a month they send you allowance. There's an age you get to, you find out that money is not the problem.
Yeah,
It is human being you need. In Igbo, we said, Madu akolam. You know, I don't want to lack a human being. You may have all the wealth and the money in the bank, and if you don't have your children, you can never be happy. So it is important for us to find activities that are engaging for children to do at home. And speaking of which, I'm going to roll you back to a young baby here in the house to find out, what do you do during holiday?
Personally, during holiday, I hardly read.
You hardly read?
Yes.
Oh, lovely. So what do you do?
I like to learn new activities. Like I recently picked up crocheting.
Yeah, that's good. I did that in primary school. But that's lovely.
So well.
I like to also go out with my friends, cause during school period I don't really leave the house. I prefer to stay at home and read.
Are you a day student?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So you
what
go.
are your parents' thoughts? Sorry, I just wanted to know.
Go ahead.
What do your parents think about what you feel?
They have no problem with it. They never force me to do lesson. I actually prefer to do lesson during school times, cause that's when I can actually focus. But during holiday, I won't be focused at all. I won't
Okay.
actually.
So you do crochet and you go out with friends.
Yes.
You have siblings, right?
Yes.
How do you relate with them at home? You press phone, right? So what's your bonding time like with your siblings during this vacation period?
We play games at times.
Okay.
It's not the time I use my phone. Like we play Monopoly, Snakes and Ladders. Then we also, I also like to bake with my sister at times.
Interesting. Because a lot of times I notice some parents leave their children. I enjoy the fact that you say you started teaching your daughter at 6 how to cook. There are some girls who are like 18. In fact, there was a certain Juliet, I'm not going to call her a surname. She was working in the bank and she was getting married. She came to my younger sister to teach her how to cook. She didn't know how to make as little as Indomie. She'd never cooked. And where she was living, didn't even have a kitchen or a kitchenette. So she was dependent outside. And she now said the man she fell in love with loves homemade food. And she doesn't know how she's going to do it. She was never taught. And I'm like, I told my sister, please, I'm not against you teaching her since she's your friend. But tell her to pay you for it, number one. And then let me know her parents. I need to sound them out and know what they feel like. Why would a child, not just a girl, why would a child, boy, girl, grow up not knowing what is happening in the kitchen and you eat?
Well, but I mean, I've seen a lot of my friends, paying for house helps and cooks. I mean, at my age, and I'm asking, are you replacing what your children should learn or your family should
it.
It's a process, and that's why scientifically there's no scientific way of raising a child.
There's no
You as
handouts.
a parent will have to play your part and guide them. That's why they say parents or guardians, because if you try to impose anything upon them, then you're definitely going to be in trouble. I'll give you an example. I studied theater arts. At the time we were studying theater arts, it was an abomination for many parents. I know a lot of my classmates that never told their parents they were studying theater arts.
What did they tell their parents they were studying?
They said law.
Wow.
One of them, I remember, Shagun, was the son of a renowned lawyer and was the only son. And the father would not imagine his sister, who was already a lawyer at the time, being on top of the inheritance. And so it was unimaginable to hear that he was studying play. Because that was
Play?
what they were calling it.
Theater arts was
Yes.
play. Wow.
Now, today, by the time I spoke with my friends who are PhDs, and they are lecturing in the same department, they tell me, you really need connection to study theater arts. And the point is that people make those mistakes because they impose certain things on their kids and realize much later that that's not the way to go. And they hurt those kids. I remember a girl came for one of our performances, and she said she wanted to say something, and she expressed herself, and she said she was forced to study French, by her dad. She cried, literally, she cried on stage. So what are parents doing? I hear parents saying, my son has to study this, He has
He
to
must be a
spend.
medical
He has
doctor.
to start primary school at the age of 1 or 2. If you travel out, a lot of these countries you copy is 5 years, because they need you to understand your kids very well. And they need to grow and become somebody before and start to make decisions. So it's self-made. Children need to be self-made. You have to just guide them.
Okay, madam, I want to know, as parents,
Yeah.
what are the basic things we can be doing with our children about this period?
About this period,
Because most of these parents dump their children back in the same school,
yes, they do.
because they do not really understand how they can cope with these children.
Like in our school, when we vacate before the vacation, a lot of parents came to us and said, "Are we doing summer?" I said, "No, we are not doing summer." They said, "Why? Summer, they can. Where are they going to keep their children?" This and I said, "But what is wrong if your child is at home? Take holidays like 2 weeks to stay with them, understand this child, know their friends, what they do when you are not around, who they talk to, what kind of film are they watching when you are not around. Take them to the kitchen. While you are cooking, they can be cutting carrots, they can be cutting tomatoes. The girls and the boys can be washing and cleaning the compound. You are training somebody's child. When she gets married, she'll be comfortable. Your child will be brought back to you because you can't cook.
Yeah.
A man, if he gets married, he believed that his wife is going to feed him. And you see his friends will be saying, your tummy has started going out, you have started getting plumper and whatever. But when the child does not know how to cook, the mother cooks for them and then hide it and takes it there. When the mother is not around, how does
No,
the man
wait, the
eat?
mother cooks.
Yes, that's what they do.
It
A
happens.
lot of them.
It happens.
And takes to the daughter's
Who is
marital.
married? Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
It,
they buy food from even Biobac. They buy
Hey!
from various places. They will package it when the husband is not around. When he gives her money to buy food, she buys it. She gives to her
Ready-made.
mom. It's either the mom cooks the food or she wants to show the man. Even there was a man who brought his friends that his wife can cook. Unfortunately, the food they brought had finished and the mother traveled. There was no way she could cook. She now sent, so she sent these riders to bring the car. She asked the husband. The man said he went to the fridge and freezer. He was checking. There is no this. There is no. He said yes. The person he said hasn't brought it. But before they come back, when are they coming? The man. Do you know he was disgraced because they had already arrived before the spy rider came brought the food. And the man was ashamed because he thought the food he was eating was from his
This
wife.
must
He
be
was
Nollywood.
bragging
no,
with
it's
his
not
wife,
Nollywood. It's not
promoting
Nollywood.
his wife, and the man say, this is why every time you say you are feel, you bring food to the office. We want to come and visit you. And this is what happens. So we advise them, stay with your children. Teach them how to cook. The boys will wash. They too, if we do division of labor. Today, if you are in the kitchen, a girl and a boy will be in the kitchen together. Teach him, when you put this, do this. There was a time a child came from holiday to my house, a friend's child. I asked her to peel the yam for me and then put it on the fire. Wallahi, this woman, she will be hearing me now. This girl cut the yam and put it in the fire with the back.
Probably with the sand
Yes.
as well.
I don't know if she washed it. And I called her. When she finished, she brought it. I said, wow, we want to do porridge. What did you do? She said, Ma, it's just that I didn't want to tell you I don't do this at home. And I
Can you
called the
imagine
mother.
it?
I said, I'm so disappointed in you. The way you do, you go about it and bringing food to the office. So your children don't do anything. What are you doing? You are paying the house help. You are investing in her. And your children don't know anything. That's a disgrace to you the day she gets married. And even if the husband does not drive her, the mother-in-law will pack her out.
Definitely.
Yes.
You see, my take is this, just to respond to what he said about maids and stuff. I have maids. I have a maid and I have a young man who helps me around the house. It's a big house. I need help. Now, how I try to go around this is I insist that when I'm in the kitchen, the children of the house should join me. It doesn't have to be everybody. But if there's one thing that gets me out of, that spoils my morning, is people are doing this, that, and the other, and somebody is
Sitting
lounging
down.
in bed or
watching
watching TV.
Ha-ha.
I feel as if
It
smoke
irritates
is
me,
coming out
yeah.
of my. It's not for any
I
reason.
actually can see the smoke, the way you
I
describe it.
Yes,
actually, it's
it's
not
very
for any
annoying.
reason. I do not subscribe to this belief that my house help is a slave. She is being paid. Therefore, she must do everything. She's the one that will go to the market. She will come back, arrange all the ingredients. She's the only one that will. I don't do that. I'm usually in the kitchen with her. If there's any person in the house that can help, because the more hands in the kitchen, the faster we finish. So somebody is washing the tomatoes and the tatashe and the pepper and whatever. The other person is dressing the meat. I'm here sorting out what we're we do that thing, we finish quickly, and then you can go back to whatever it is you are doing. And in addition to that, you have picked up, for instance, there are people who don't know that you don't, these bell peppers now, the red bell peppers, there are people who don't know that you don't grind that thing with the seeds.
Yes,
You have
it
to
makes
remove
your
every
soup
seed.
bitter.
It makes you,
You
it
have to
spoils your
remove it,
meal.
yeah.
But there are young people out there that might not know. But when you get engaged in the process of preparing it, and I insist that remove every last seed. And as I'm giving you that instruction, I'm telling you the reason why you should remove every last seed. I'm telling you why I don't want you to carry an onion, cut it, and then you leave it with all the dry peels and carry it like that and put it in the fridge.
Oh my God.
Peel the whole thing, find a container, put it inside, and put it in the fridge. That's what you do. So these small things. So when I am working, I insist, you, come. You will learn because you are doing it practically. Of course, that doesn't make me very popular, but just
Definitely.
no, I mean, like, seriously.
Definitely, you cannot be popular in the house.
Guess who doesn't care? Me. And then apart from that, I also do not believe that cooking is for girls.
No.
We all eat.
My son cooks for his wife.
We all eat. So
Your son cooks for the wife?
Wallahi, he's hearing. The wife is hearing.
So we all
because
eat.
he attended military school. And he's into everything, even the children he takes care of. They're very early in the morning, he will bath them, clean all their shoes, iron their dresses in the night, package it, and then he wakes them up before the wife wakes them. They are hearing me.
So my approach is, as long as you're a human being who eats, you should be able to prepare at least 70% of what you eat from scratch.
Yeah.
You cannot
and you should be able to also do your dish.
You cannot be an Indomie person and then say you know how to cook. You should be able to boil yam from scratch, fry yam from scratch, prepare yam pottage. You should be able to prepare most meals from scratch. 70-80%. As I'm sitting here, I can tell you without batting an eyelid that I hate cooking, but I cook. There is no range of, there's practically no rice I cannot cook.
I love
no
cooking.
soup I cannot cook.
But I don't want to eat.
I detest it. It's when I'm in the kitchen that I feel as if I'm suffering.
Ew.
Yes, I won't lie.
That's the joy now.
I don't like cooking. But you know why? I don't like it. But I cook because 1, I feel it is a life skill. 2, I eat. 3, I don't want anybody to hold me to ransom for food that I will eat to keep me alive. If I'm broke, I cannot eat food. If boy did not come to work, I cannot eat food. No. Nonsense. So that is why I learned how to cook, and I cook reasonably well. But on a good day, if you ask me to list the things I enjoy doing and there are 10, cooking will be 11. But if I cook a meal for you, you will eat it too. You will enjoy it. But is it my thing that so and the reason I'm giving this context is there's nothing like I don't like cooking. Therefore, I don't like cooking either, but I know how to cook because I don't want to leave myself at the mercy of anybody.
Yes, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy sweeping. I enjoy cleaning. You know, those chores.
I literally really don't enjoy any chore, and I do all.
I enjoy the chore, but don't ask me to wash clothes. Don't ask me to iron.
I don't enjoy any chore, but I do all. I do all because
you're in my shoes, right? I don't like washing. I don't like ironing.
I don't like
but I'll
chores.
do everything for you.
I don't like chores.
But let's find out what she likes to do.
If you leave me in fantasy land, I will sit down and watch TV forever.
Can you imagine it?
But because I'm an adult who understands the concept of responsibility, I do chores, I cook, if there's need to, I do all those things because there are things that need to get done. But if you ask me how I want to enjoy my life, I want to watch TV and sip ice cream.
Hey, well. That's lazy man's life.
Now,
Okay, so
before.
do you cook with your mom in the kitchen?
Yes, sometimes.
What's your strength in the kitchen? What do you cook best?
Um, I prefer fried food. I can fry basically everything.
Hmm. You eat a lot of dry food.
She
Yes.
does. Yes, I
Right.
can see the saliva in her.
Okay, when you're cooking in the kitchen, what happens really with your mom?
We talk a lot and we bond, I guess.
Yeah, that's the point I was getting to, because a lot of us feel the children coming into the kitchen could make your job, longer. So you don't want them. You don't want distraction. So you want to do it all alone so you can hurry up with it. I actually really can relate to that. But the basic thing in cooking together is not just learning how to cook. We also learn a lot of things about our children. When you're peeling that seasoning, when you're cutting that onion, and the child is reacting to the tears that comes from the onion, you're teaching the child how best not to tear out when you're touching onion. You're teaching the child how not to do this. Sometimes a conversation can spring up. How was school today? That thing you were doing, in your teacher said in the school, congratulations, so how did you get to that? You start with the sweet ones. Before you know it, the child feels confident and
Free.
start telling you the bad ones.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why children, all of us can relate to it, we don't want to talk to our parents, is because we tell them what we did not do exactly right, and that kitchen knife will nearly hit you. So I think I want to talk to parents as well. When your child is telling you something, in your heart, you're palpitating, you're scared. This child would have, endangered herself. For crying out loud, she did not endanger herself. She's the one standing here and telling the story. So we should find a way of reaching out to them without scaring them away.
Yeah.
Because they won't talk to you again tomorrow.
Yeah, they will talk to friends.
They'll talk to friends.
Yeah.
Because mommy will panic. Mommy will hit me. Daddy will hit me. And do you hit your children?
I don't spare the rod when they go wrong.
This man is
So
I
much.
absolutely, even yesterday, I mean, I slapped my daughter a bit like this because she came and she was troubling the younger one, and they were not letting us sleep in the middle of the night. She was just enjoying the play, and I kept saying, stop, stop. She refused. I just did this, and she cried and went to sleep. So I don't tolerate that, absolutely. I think that um, one of the reasons why I do that is because I wasn't, it's something I learned as well. And I also know that the African culture, requires that. If you're that kind of parent that believes that, you can let your children, like my son,
tell
he
you,
wants to have
stupid
everything. You give his elder sister something, he wants to take his own and take her. And I'm beginning to see greed.
Yeah.
And I need to address it. You can't give him, he can't have his cake and have everything. So these are things that I really don't tolerate. As much as possible, I provide what I have to provide, but you have to also respect yourself.
This thing you mentioned now, it's important because a lot of times we parents make children believe that they are a gift from God, and because they are a gift from God, they're so precious that we must give them everything. And we make them understand that, everything they ask for is right, even when it's wrong. Let's Perhaps this holiday period, children begin to work, not like labor, work for a little bit of the pay. For instance, if you own a company, no matter how minor, and if you do maybe like some kind of art crafts and stuff like that, let the child begin to cut some things for you. If you own a studio, the child over time, would have learned how to mix one or two sounds for you. You're not going to say, okay, this is the money you're earning for this month, but make the child understand that's how you earn money, by
pay for
producing
the
music,
schools.
and you too can help me to earn this money. The big thing about children I have noticed, they're very excited to do adult
A
things.
lot
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
A lot
They're
of
very
them.
excited to do adult things, but we want to be quick to push them away. I recall when my daughter was 6 years old, and they went to visit my parents. I came back, they told me she made beans, she boiled beans. Ah, I wasn't there, and the act had finished and done, but I felt dead. I felt, okay, what if the gas, went the wrong way and this girl got caught, blah, 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 and all that. My father was like, when you finish vexing, you get up. See her. She's excited. She has learned to turn on gas. If I leave the child with you, this child will not know anything. And to be quite frank, by the time she was already 14, she was cooking everything cosmopolitan.
She would develop interest in that aspect.
They always want to do what adults do. So within the holiday period, there are a lot of things children can do. Hair making, for instance. We could let our girls, boys, I know I'm stressing it, do attachment, internship, with a salon, somebody we can trust. The boys, again, can go to the mechanics, I may not subscribe to electricals, but mechanic job, how to change tire, how to do basic things, survival skills, we can carpentry job, they can learn basic things, and when they learn these things, they are very excited to use it. Beyond a crochet, what are you doing again? What would you like to learn before you turn 16, 17, 18? Photography. Oh, that's great. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. So I hope mommy and daddy are working towards it for you.
Yes.
All right. So, all right, we're going to take a little break before I begin to relate with all the people that are writing in here. Get to find out what children are really doing at this moment at home. They're at home or in school, I don't know. But let's see what they are doing to keep themselves busy. Some people have been writing in. Devan will be ready to take some of the questions. Good morning, lovely people. I am enjoying the program. I appreciate this time out to educate both the parents and children. But I want to know From what age should a child start working or preparing meal with the parents in the kitchen?
I think
That's from
there's
Prince.
this
Prince said he's writing
there's
from Uyu.
there's this Facebook page of this man and his wife, and they started teaching their baby, a toddler. She couldn't speak. But you know, Igbo food now is mostly salad, bake this, bake that. And what the father would do is, he had this, because he was the one mostly in the kitchen while the wife did the filming. They had this high stool with high sides that they would place her in, so that she had access to.
Even if possible.
No, but the sides are high enough, and it's pushed to the counter so she can't slip out. And the father would give her an egg to break, and she would hit it on the counter, and of course the whole thing would mess up. But he would collect what's left of it, put inside. He would give her salt to put. Then I've watched the progress of this child. When they are going to the supermarket, they bought her a toy trolley, and that's her size. They allow her to pick things. They lift her up to the counter. She pays. They collect change. And I've watched this child's progress, and she's about 3 years old now. And they've bought a toy kitchenette for her that they've redone it for practical use. You see her, she has her sponge. She will wash the little plate she used. It's a mess, but you can see this child is picking up skills where by the time she's 5 or 6, where food is concerned, the mother will not be at work somewhere and be thinking, oh, my child cannot even put butter on bread. The 3 people have to be in the house with her. No, this is a small child that is being taught how to manage heat, fire, how she can bake basics, with under strong supervision, of course. They don't leave. And so all babies are wired to help. Once a baby starts standing and walking a bit, you want to sweep, they are grabbing the broom.
Exactly.
They're even crying.
Yes.
Allow them to do it.
Oh, I wish I captured one little boy in my house in the night. We always make efforts to clean in the night before we go to bed.
How old is he?
He's 8, going to 9.
I don't know.
So he was, sweeping. I said, it's your bedtime. I said, go and sleep. He said no, that he wants to do this house by himself, that nobody should touch broom. When he entered my room, I said, I already did my room. He said, no, I'm the one doing it. But I already took care of my room before he came. He got angry and started crying. That why did I do the room? Because he told me he was going to do it.
So the point I'm trying to make
they
is,
all want to help.
Allow them. They won't do it properly. But they are excited to be part of this society, everything is new to a baby. They sometimes you buy toys for kids and they want to play with a pot, because that's what they see adults using more. This thing is this foreign thing that is colorful. Allow them. They will sweep it badly. Allow them to keep sweeping it badly. Whenever they want to help you, allow them to help you and make that mess.
Lessons come up. All these toys you are mentioning are those things they teach them with while they are still at toddlers. If you had visited our school on 6th that we had this graduation, the children came out, the 1.5-year-old children. I think I have the pictures there. When we round up, I will show you. They did a lot of things that the parents were surprised. This is how you tailor them to acquire a skill that that is what they are going to end up with. But parents will come and say, I want my child to be a doctor, I want my child. We said no. We will call them and direct them to the guidance counseling. See the result of your child. See what he has
where does your child's strengths lie?
Yes,
what are they interested in? What is their talent?
Okay, make sure that he gets
Prince, you wrote in from Uyo. You have your answers now. So there's really no strict time. You have to do it as soon as the child is beginning to show interest. And you must do it, like Devon said, with strong supervision. Because kitchen is one place you don't play with. Okay, another person wrote in from, it says Akwanga, Nasarawa State. I must thank all of you for such perfect guiding of the parents like me. This program is really educating. My appreciation goes to the only man in the house. He says it all. Husband or wife are responsible for the better of their children. God bless you. Say your name is Paul Lagi. Paul, thank you very much, and we'll continue to read more messages. Good morning, Elizabeth and guests in the house. For me, I don't subscribe to the issue of summer lessons. It's better we spend time with them in order to keep our mutual relationship. You wrote it from Benue State. Pilakria Fanin.
Pilakia, I guess.
Pilakia.
Fane.
Fanin, yes. In Benue. Okay, thank you so much. We agree with you totally. And another person is writing as much as I can. Good morning, madam. We love your conversation. I leave my children to do what they like, but if I see them doing the bad things, I correct them. Some parents don't care. Their children don't call their children to order. Thanks to the conversation, and God bless you. And it's as again, please, I would like you to bring this topic back again, so that many parents will learn more from it. Thank you so much. As much as we can, we'll try to bring in the topic again. I'm Austin from Akure, and you greet everyone. And I'm so loving the show as always. Thank you for another enlightening episode. Let's see if we can. Somebody is asking, is this for phone call or text messages? Please, it's strictly text messages. You can't take call. Parents should allow their children to make their choices or whatever they decide to study. And he says he's writing in from Benue State. Did you tell your people that you're coming?
I didn't.
Because too many people from Benue State are writing in. I really enjoy
this morning. Yeah.
I really enjoy the program, but there are men who don't want their boys to cook. Okay, there's a program on NTA called Boys Can Cook.
Oh, really?
The reason
That's
I'm
good.
saying this is because I have seen most of them, whenever the woman call them to the kitchen, the men will be like, are there no girls in the house? You know what I'm saying is the boys or girls but should be treated equally. That's Favor from Delta State. Okay, thank you, Favor. And somebody is asking me to pick your call. Did I not say that this thing is not for call? It's text messages in. Good morning, ma. Please, I was listening to the news with my mom and I realized that everything is true. I would have loved to sew clothes, make hair, bake what I want, also venture into many other things. Please help. Thank you. Okay, she's asking that she wishes she can get to do this. I don't know how old she is, but she didn't write her age or her name or even where she's coming from. But I need you to advise her on what to do. It's never too late, right?
Yeah, it's never too late. She wants to do all these things. I think if her mom is at home and she's cooking,
she said she's watching with her mother.
Yeah, like she watched and she listened to what we're saying. She will just pick up once the mother is going down to the kitchen to do her work. She should follow her. When she gets there, she said, "Mommy, what can I do for you?" But we don't know her age. But then I'm sure she must be around 10 if she could write all this or send this. Think of requesting for how she can help her mom. Maybe she's about 8 or so, and maybe she's even restricted not to get into all this, because normally I do tell my children that house girls are not slaves and they don't jump from up. It is circumstances that made them come and work with us. And some of them, the parents are not as bad as they think, because they just want them to be trained outside the home. So when you are you have a house help, please always send your children to do a lot of work.
All right, so
don't just leave them like that. So the girl should always make sure she copied her mom, goes to do many things. Even if they stop her, let her not stop. Let her tell her mom that I'm interested, I want to learn it, I want to do it.
Definitely.
Gradually she will get to be master on it.
All right, you heard her, whatever your name is. Okay, she just wrote here. She said her name is Precious and she's 11 years old. And she's writing from Port Harcourt. Thank you, Precious, for helping us know you better. Peter, just parting words, brief.
Well, just to
especially
say,
to your fellow men.
Yes, in fact, I had that in mind. Just to tell the men that, it doesn't take anything to, play your role. Number one, you must provide. That's the requirement. No matter how it is, you must provide. It is when you don't provide that, we can make excuses. It's when you provide that you can make excuses. If you don't provide, you can't come and claim, well, don't train my child in this way, don't do this. There are women that train the children, they feed the house. The husband just comes and he wants to claim male superiority.
All right, okay, so
it's not good.
I would like you to speak one or two sentences to your friends who are watching as to how to keep up with the holiday.
Okay. You guys should learn new activities. Be open to different ideas. Don't be restricted to do only one thing.
All right, thank you very much. And Devon?
Yeah, to parents particularly, allow kids to have downtime, relax, and enjoy themselves. And again, to parents, this is a fantastic time to know if your child can bath him or herself. Some
Yes.
parents don't know that their kids who are already 10, 11, preteens
Don't know how to wash.
don't
To take
actually
care of
know how to
themselves.
wash their bodies properly. So
It's-
please,
Letting them don't do this.
hygiene, but yeah, we've talked a lot about chores, but please allow these kids to play, have a social life, go out and unwind.
Okay, definitely. If
Very
you want to
essential.
get to enjoy your children up to when you're old and retire, don't devote every time to your job and friends and club. Put enough time with your family, your wife, your husband, your children. That way, they will always remember because you'll always be there to go person whenever they're in need. Don't neglect them now because you think you're in charge. When they become in charge, they will neglect you. The teachers won't always be there. See you
Yeah.
next week.
Thank you so much.